Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I am taking a look at the New King James Stridon in Marbled Sapphire Calfskin. This is the newest edition from Schuyler Bibles, and I have the non-yapp edition, which is actually my personal preference. So here's a look at it. The Marbled Sapphire is beautiful. I hope that shows up well on the camera, because that is just beautiful. Beautiful all the way around. The calfskin itself is smooth in places and rough in places, and it gives you visual texture and texture to your fingers, and I love it. This is my favorite style of leather. This is similar to the leather on the Black Pearl personal size Canterbury that I reviewed previously. This is a thick leather. I like this. Very thick. It is flexible, so you can roll it around if you wanted to, but it's also stiff enough that you can hold it open easily. It has a leather liner with gold gilt line around the perimeter stitching, the Jerusalem cross on the front, gold stamping on the spine, blue under gold art gilt edges, 3 3/8" navy ribbons, angle cut, double-sided. The overall size, the size that you need if you're buying a case to put this in, if we bend it down just a little bit, the overall size is 6 3/4 by 9 3/4 by 1 1/2, and it weighs 2 pounds 14.2 ounces. This has 28 GSM paper. This is that fancy, expensive, premium paper with the titanium pigment that is a Royal Jongbloed exclusive. This is the paper that we find in all the big premiums from the Netherlands. It is printed in the Netherlands. Presentation page in the front on thick end sheets with family pages including marriages, births, and deaths. And then stays open well. Even though it's an edge lined liner, it stays open well. No problems at all. One of the best I've seen for staying open, actually. So it includes a single column layout. Let's just look at Genesis page 1 here. Single column layout, verse by verse, with all the highlights in red, and that includes the book titles except for the actual name itself, the section headings, chapter numbers, verse numbers in the text, and then the verse numbers in the footnotes and references, which are in the footer. So we're looking at about 14 words per line, 10-point font, line matching text, although there's some places where the section headings don't line match. So it almost makes it look like it's off a little, but it's not actually. So there's a look at the section heading is not line matched, but the text itself is. And as you can see, this is a wide margin, 7/8" outer margin, and 5/8" inner margin. And this is really good because you might not want to use it as a wide margin, so you don't feel like you're carrying around empty space for no reason. But if you do want to make some small notes, like add some references, add some definitions or something like that, there's enough room to do that. The inner margin is wide enough that it brings the text out into the flat part of the page. I love this. And back to the point of 14 words per line, the words don't bend into the gutter, so I don't have to figure out where I'm at. It's easy enough to track. And that also makes poetry look beautiful. Poetry is divided in excellent places. It just looks pretty on the page. Some of the prettiest poetry that I've seen. The text is dark. It is consistent. It is a red letter edition also. So there's the red. The red is dark and consistent. I'll bring that up to the camera. The red is beautiful. So this is a beautiful text. So we have letters are presented as letters. You see that indenting here. So they're indented so they stand out just a little bit. Lists are presented as lists. 70,000 cross-references in the footer. The cross-references and the footnotes are separated. That makes them easy to see. And there's enough white space between the references so that they stand out. So I'm not struggling trying to find them. Even trying to find them quickly, I can just look down and there they are. And since the footnotes are separate, I don't get lost looking for them. I like that. This is an excellent design. I like that a lot. And it does include the full set of translation footnotes. Paper is easy enough to turn. It doesn't get stuck. It doesn't stick together. Even though it is smooth, it doesn't stick together. I find it easy enough to turn. Grab that and turn it, no problem at all. That red is beautiful. This is my favorite red. It's a dark red. I like that a lot. Then in the back we have a fairly large concordance. Now the text in the concordance is small. There's enough white space between it that it doesn't feel crowded. So that does help. If you need a large print, this concordance might give you some trouble. It has quite a bit in here. It does not have personal names, but it does have Christ. There's how many it has for Christ. And here's how many we have for God. And then it has God, Goddess, Godhead, Godliness, Godly, Gods. It's quite a bit in there. It's very good for study and for research, sermon prep. Then after the concordance, 14 line pages for notes. Now this is the same 28 GSM as the Bible paper, but that's quite a bit for notes. I like that. And then the Schuyler maps, the 12 maps from Schuyler. This is on the thicker end sheets, the thicker paper. It's like a matte finish, so there are no glare of any kind. And now we still have the map that spread 2 pages. It's a little bit difficult to use, but not impossible to use. I'd like to see a little bit of space added. There's our chart. These maps look amazing. I love these colors. There's the other map. That one's a little bit easier to use. We don't lose text in the bend, in the gutter there. There's another one, so there's 3. And then an index. I love it when we have an index to maps. Even a simple one like this. It's small, easy to use. I like that. And then several thick end sheets that you can use for notes or not anything at all if you don't want. But I like these because they add structure. So that is a quick look at the New King James Stridon from Schuyler. Now, let's take a look at how the calfskin compares to goatskin. This is the NASB Stridon that I reviewed previously, and it is in goatskin. So here's a good look at the texture between the goatskin and the calfskin. Both are excellent. The calfskin is actually thicker. That's a thicker leather. A little more stiff, but it's not stiff, just a little more stiff. It has a deeper grain. If grain is what you're looking for, then I think you like the goatskin. But if you like a thick leather and some texture, then I recommend the calfskin. Calfskin is my favorite. There's the non-yapp. It does have a little bit, just enough to conform to where I'm carrying the Bible. I like that. That's my favorite. So that is my quick look at the Stridon New King James Marbled Sapphire Calfskin non-yapp edition from Schuyler. This will be available very soon, like next week. It is currently still available for pre-order, so I highly recommend buying this one. I purchased this for review, but Schuyler did supply a discount, which I appreciate very much. And as always, has nothing to do with my opinion. Never, and never will. But if you're looking for a good verse-by-verse New King James, I highly recommend the Stridon. It's an excellent Bible. Lots of tools, a little bit of space for notes, but you don't feel like you're carrying around empty space. I like this. So this is excellent for reading, for study, for preaching. So I'll place links in the notes so you can make a purchase if you're interested. Also a link to the written review at BibleBuyingGuide.com, where I always go into more detail. And thanks for watching.